Fantasy Philosophers is brought to you by fantasy-info.com.
Ray Rice was one of the hot fantasy sleepers coming into last season, and he proved to be even more productive than just a sleeper, as he racked up over 700 yards receiving on 78 receptions and over 1,300 yards rushing to give him over 2,000 yards total, and he even threw in 8 touchdowns as well. The 8 touchdowns doesn't seem like a lot, but when you factor in that Rice did not even have a touchdown in his rookie season, that was a big step for him, as we didn't know if he could actually get the touchdowns or not. Coming into this year's offseason, the Ravens have had a very nice offseason. They've picked up a lot of key additions. However, I am a bit disappointed for Rice in the sense that the team did, in fact, keep Willis McGahee around. They picked up his option and decided to keep him around. The problem with having McGahee around is that, he did rack up 14 touchdowns last season. And I was hopeful for Rice's sake and his fantasy value that McGahee would leave, and that would also give Rice, bonus opportunities to definitely go over double-digit touchdowns in this upcoming season. Unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen, as McGahee should be a factor in the offense throughout the season as long as he is healthy. But Rice is going to be the main starter. Obviously, he is the fantasy stud. He's one of our top 5 favorite running backs for this upcoming season. Definitely in PPR leagues, he's added bonus as stud with all those receptions that he does get. I do believe his reception totals will probably go down this year, and the reason for that is last season they were really deficient at wide receiver. Derek Mason, good solid veteran, but he's not a true number 1 anymore, and that was very evident last year. Mark Clayton, he's not worth being a starter in the NFL, and that was also clear. So, Flacco, that's what he had to work with. At least he had Todd Heap give him a decent season, even though he's, an aging, banged-up tight end veteran. But this offseason, they get Anquan Boldin, they pick up a speedster in Dante Stallworth, they get a couple of nice young tight ends in Dennis Pitta and Ed Dixon to go behind Todd Heap. So with all that talent around, I don't believe they'll have to use Ray Rice as much out of the backfield as they did the year before. So I would expect his reception totals to go down just a little bit. He's probably going to still be around 60, maybe 60 plus. I don't know if he's going to get back up into the high 70s though. So keep that in mind. And as far as his touchdown totals, I wouldn't be surprised if they're about where they were last year, and that's about what you're going to get this year. But still, Rice is a great player. He's going to rack up a lot of total yardage. He's going to make some big touchdowns if you're in a league that gives points for, extra points for how the distance of the touchdown went. He's a guy that can give you added value there. And as I say again, he did prove that he could sneak out a few touchdowns inside the red zone as well, which is always nice to see from a player his size.
For more fantasy football information, go to fantasy-info.com and sign up for our free e-newsletter. Good luck in your 2010 Fantasy Football League. As an added bonus, the Fantasy Info guys will include their 5 secret tips for success in